She said he is going through a hard time and needs support. If you loved me, you would want me to be a good person. I said, you are such a caring person. I admire your compassion. When I offered to help him directly with his financial problems, he had no idea what emergencies I was talking about. She accused me of trying to control her friendships while begging me to trust her judgment about his mental health needs. Nicole and I have been dating for 8 months. She is generally kind and thoughtful, which I really appreciate. But there is this pattern that has been bothering me. Her ex-boyfriend Ryan apparently has been going through some tough times since their breakup 2 years ago. Nicole gets these calls or texts about various emergencies. His car broke down. He is having anxiety attacks. His landlord is threatening eviction. Family drama. You name it. She always drops everything to help. At first I thought it was sweet, but it has become a real issue. We have had to cancel 3 dinner reservations because Ryan had emergencies. She missed my company holiday party because he was having a panic attack and needed someone to talk him through it. Last month she spent $400 of her rent money helping him with some urgent financial crisis. When I gently suggested he should have other people to lean on, she got defensive and said I was being jealous and unsupportive. The frequency is what gets me. It is like clockwork, every time we have plans, especially weekend plans. Ryan has some crisis. Nicole will get this text and immediately start gathering her things. She will be gone for hours, sometimes the whole evening. When she comes back, she is usually exhausted and doesn't want to talk about it much, just says he is really struggling right now. I started keeping track without really meaning to. In the past 6 weeks, she has canceled on me 8 times for Ryan emergencies. 8 times. Our anniversary dinner, a concert I had bought tickets for months ago. Even just staying in to watch movies gets interrupted. Her friends think it is weird too. Sarah mentioned that Nicole never used to be this involved with exes before. But when I brought that up, Nicole said I was recruiting her friends against her and that she has just grown as a person since then. The money thing bothers me a lot. She is supposedly saving for a down payment on a condo, but every month there is some Ryan crisis that requires cash. Car repairs, medical bills, helping him avoid eviction. I offered to help her budget or even contribute to her savings, but she said she needs to handle Ryan's situation first because he has nobody else. I have never met Ryan, which also feels strange. In 8 months of dating someone who apparently spends several hours a week helping her ex, you would think our paths would cross. But Nicole says he is too anxious to meet new people right now and that my presence might complicate his healing process. Last week was the breaking point. We had planned a weekend trip to her sister's wedding, something she had been excited about for months. Friday morning, Ryan apparently had some kind of family emergency and needed Nicole to drive him to his hometown, 3 hours away. She was genuinely torn, crying about how she couldn't abandon him but also didn't want to miss her sister's wedding. I ended up going to the wedding alone. Nicole spent the entire weekend dealing with Ryan's family situation. Her sister was hurt, her parents were confused, and I felt like an idiot trying to explain why my girlfriend wasn't there. When Nicole got back Sunday night, she was emotionally drained. She said Ryan's family situation was really complicated and she was the only person he trusted to help navigate it. But something about the way she described it felt off. The details were vague, and when I asked follow-up questions, she seemed to forget what she had said earlier. I am starting to wonder if I am the problem here. Maybe I am being too jealous, or not understanding enough. Nicole keeps saying that helping people in crisis is just who she is, and that a good partner would support that about her. But this doesn't feel normal to me. Am I wrong to be bothered by this? Is there a reasonable way to bring up my concerns without seeming like I am trying to control who she helps? Edit. Some people are asking if I think she is cheating. Honestly, I don't know. The emotional affair possibility crossed my mind, but Nicole seems genuinely stressed and exhausted after these incidents, not like someone who has been having fun with an ex. Plus, she is always transparent about where she is going and what the emergency is. It feels more like she is being manipulated than being sneaky, but I could be wrong. Update: after reading your responses, I decided to take a more direct approach. A lot of you suggested that Nicole might be getting manipulated by Ryan, and that really resonated with me. I figured if Ryan is genuinely in crisis mode all the time, maybe having another person offer support would actually help both of them. So Wednesday night, when Nicole got another emergency text from Ryan, apparently his unemployment benefits got denied and he was panicking about bills. I said something like, you know what? What if I reached out? I work in finance. I could probably help him navigate the unemployment system or at least look over his budget. Nicole's reaction was intense. She immediately said no, that Ryan was too fragile for that kind of interaction. When I pressed a little, like, wouldn't it be good for him to expand his support network? She got really agitated. She said I was trying to insert myself into her friendships and that it felt controlling. But here is the thing. I had already decided to try reaching out regardless of what she said. I know that sounds boundary crossing, but something in her reaction made me more suspicious, not less. I found Ryan on Facebook pretty easily. Nicole had mentioned he works at a local gym, and there he was, Ryan Walsh, personal trainer at FitZone. I sent him a message explaining that I was Nicole's boyfriend, and that I had heard he was going through some tough times. I said I had experience with financial planning and unemployment benefits if he ever wanted to talk. His response came back within an hour. Hey man, thanks for reaching out, but I am actually doing pretty well these days. Not sure what Nicole told you, but I have been employed full-time for like 6 months now, and my benefits situation got sorted out last year. Kind of confused about what you mean by tough times. I moved in with my girlfriend Sarah back in March, and things have been really stable. I literally stared at that message for 10 minutes. Then I read it again. Then I screenshot it. I wrote back asking about some of the specific things Nicole had mentioned. The car trouble, the eviction threats, the family emergencies. Ryan seemed genuinely puzzled. He said his car is fine. He has never been close to eviction because he moved in with Sarah specifically to save money. As for family emergencies, he said his parents live in Florida and the last time he saw them was Christmas. No drama. Then Ryan asked something that made my stomach drop. Is Nicole okay? She has been texting me pretty regularly, but usually about random stuff, not emergencies. I figured she was just being friendly, but if she told you I was in crisis mode, that is weird. Should I be worried about her? I didn't know how to respond to that, so I just said I was probably confused about the details and thanked him for clarifying. But then Ryan sent another message. Actually, now that I think about it, Nicole has been asking me a lot of questions lately about my schedule, and she has been suggesting we meet up to catch up properly, but I have been putting it off because Sarah isn't really comfortable with that. I thought Nicole knew I was with Sarah though. We have been together 8 months, and it is pretty serious. 8 months. The same amount of time Nicole and I have been dating. I asked Ryan when Nicole usually contacts him. He said mostly weekday evenings and weekends, and that she often says she is dealing with something stressful and needs someone to talk to. He has been trying to be supportive because they ended on good terms, but he has been keeping the conversations short and surface level out of respect for Sarah. When I got home that night, Nicole asked how my day was like nothing had happened. I asked her how Ryan was doing with his unemployment situation. She sighed and said it was touch and go, but she thought she had helped him calm down enough to sleep. I am not even angry yet, just completely lost. What the hell has she been doing during all those hours she was supposedly helping him? And why would she create this entire fictional crisis version of her ex's life? Edit. I haven't confronted Nicole yet. I want to understand what is actually happening before I say anything. Right now, all I know is that she has been lying about Ryan's situation, but I don't know why or what she has actually been doing instead. Update 2. After my conversation with Ryan, I spent 3 days basically walking around in a fog. Nicole kept acting completely normal, even asking how I was doing because I seemed distant lately. The cognitive dissonance was unreal. Thursday evening, Nicole got another Ryan emergency text. This time it was something about his anxiety being really bad and him needing someone to talk through some family trauma. She was putting on her jacket and grabbing her keys when I said, "Actually, I have been thinking about what you said the other day, about not wanting me to contact Ryan. I respect that boundary, but I am worried about him. Maybe we should suggest he get professional help. I could research some therapists in his price range." Nicole stopped putting on her jacket. She said Ryan was resistant to therapy and that she was basically fulfilling that role for him right now. When I asked if that was healthy for either of them, she got defensive again and said some people just need a friend who understands them. Then I said, "What if I came with you? Not to interfere, just to drive so you don't have to worry about parking or getting tired. I could wait in the car." The look on her face was like I had suggested something completely insane. She said absolutely not, that Ryan would be triggered by knowing I was there, and that my even suggesting it showed I didn't trust her judgment. She left for her emergency and didn't get back until almost midnight. By Friday I couldn't take it anymore. I called in sick to work and drove to Ryan's gym. I know this makes me sound like a stalker, but I needed to understand what was happening. I got there around 2 p.m. and waited in the parking lot. At 3:30, Ryan came out with who I assumed was Sarah, tall, dark hair, very athletic looking. They got into a car together and left. At 6 p.m., Nicole texted me that she was heading to another Ryan emergency. He is having a panic attack about a job interview tomorrow and needs someone to talk him through it. Ryan was at work. I watched him leave at 3:30 with his girlfriend. So where the hell was Nicole going? I ended up following her car. I know. This is completely unhinged behavior and I am not proud of it, but I was losing my mind. She drove to a Starbucks about 15 minutes from our apartment. She went inside, ordered something, and sat down at a table. Then she just sat there for 2 hours. Around 8 p.m. she drove to Target, wandered around for about an hour buying random stuff. I could see her through the windows, then drove home. When she got back, she was exhausted from helping Ryan work through his anxiety about the job interview. She said it took a while, but she thought she had helped him get to a better headspace. I asked her how the job interview went. She looked confused for a second, then said Ryan had decided to postpone it because he wasn't feeling ready. That is when it hit me. She is not having an affair. She is not helping anyone. She has been lying about helping Ryan as an excuse to just be alone, away from me. For hours at a time. Saturday morning, I sat her down and told her I knew about Ryan. I showed her the Facebook conversation. I told her about seeing him leave work with Sarah and about following her to Starbucks. Nicole's reaction wasn't what I expected. She didn't get angry or defensive. She just started crying and saying she didn't know how to explain it. Eventually, she told me that she has been feeling suffocated in our relationship but didn't know how to bring it up. She said I am a good boyfriend, but being around me all the time was making her feel anxious and trapped. The fake Ryan emergencies started as a way to get space without hurting my feelings, but then she couldn't figure out how to stop without admitting what she had been doing. She said she had been using those hours to just sit somewhere quiet and think, or walk around stores alone, or sometimes drive to her mom's house without telling anyone. She said it wasn't about me specifically. She just needed time to breathe and feel like herself again. I asked her why she didn't just tell me she needed more space. She said she was afraid I would think she didn't love me, or that I would get clingy and make it worse. She said all her previous boyfriends had reacted badly when she asked for alone time, so she thought creating fake emergencies was kinder. The money she would supposedly spent on Ryan, she had been putting it in a separate savings account because she wasn't sure if our relationship was going to work long term, and she wanted to have her own financial cushion. The emotional exhaustion after helping Ryan was real, but it was from the stress of lying to me, not from actually helping anyone. We broke up Saturday night. Nicole said she thinks she needs to be single for a while and figure out why she cannot communicate her needs directly. Ryan texted me yesterday asking if everything was okay because Nicole sent him a long apology message about misrepresenting their friendship to me. I told him it was all resolved and not to worry about it. He seems like a decent guy who got unwittingly dragged into someone else's relationship drama. I am staying at my brother's place for a few days while Nicole moves her stuff out of my apartment. Part of me wonders if we could have worked through this if she had just been honest from the beginning, but honestly, the level of deception involved makes me not want to try. Final update: I thought I was done with this whole situation, but Sarah contacted me yesterday and I learned there was another layer to this mess. Sarah found my original post through some mutual friends who recognized the story. She asked if we could meet for coffee because there were things about Nicole that I should probably know. Turns out, Nicole had been contacting Ryan way more than he would let on when we talked. Sarah showed me screenshots going back 5 months. Nicole had been texting Ryan 2 to 3 times per week, always late at night or when Sarah was at work. The messages weren't explicitly sexual or romantic, but they were definitely inappropriate for someone in a relationship with someone else. Stuff like, I have been thinking about our conversation from last year and I miss being able to talk to someone who really gets me, and do you ever wonder what would have happened if we had tried harder? Ryan had been mostly responding with short, polite answers and steering conversations toward neutral topics. But Nicole kept pushing for deeper emotional connection. About 6 weeks ago, Nicole had asked Ryan if they could meet up to get closure on their relationship. When he said he didn't think that was appropriate, she started the emergency text pattern. But instead of fake crises, she was texting things like, "I am going through something really difficult, and you are the only person who would understand." Ryan felt guilty about not responding to what seemed like genuine mental health crises, so he had been texting back supportive messages, and sometimes talking her through what she said were anxiety episodes. Sarah said he had been losing sleep worrying about Nicole and debating whether he should suggest she contact me or a therapist. The timeline makes sense now. Nicole wasn't just taking random alone time, she was trying to create opportunities to re-establish emotional intimacy with Ryan. When that wasn't working, she escalated to more serious fake emergencies to justify longer, more intense conversations. The really messed up part, Sarah said, Ryan has been feeling guilty for months about not being available enough for his supposedly struggling ex, even though he has been trying to maintain appropriate boundaries with Nicole while still being supportive. Nicole's fake emergencies weren't just lies to me. They were manipulation tactics designed to guilt Ryan into giving her the emotional intimacy she wanted. I assured Sarah that Ryan handled everything appropriately and that none of this was his fault. I also told her about the real timeline, that Nicole had been creating elaborate fake emergencies to justify spending hours away from me, not actually talking to Ryan during most of that time. We both agreed to fill Ryan in on the full situation so he would stop feeling guilty about not being supportive enough during Nicole's fake crises. Ryan texted me later yesterday saying he felt massively relieved to learn that Nicole hadn't actually been in crisis all those times, but also disturbed by the level of manipulation involved. He said he is going to block her number because he has finally realized that staying in contact isn't healthy for anyone involved. I am glad this whole thing is over, but it has left me with a lot of questions about how well I actually knew Nicole and how I missed so many red flags.